So welcome everyone to the full moon. Tonight's full moon, actually this morning's full moon was at 10:28 this morning. So we're still very much in the energy of this full moon lunation. But this is the full moon in the sign of Aquarius and Leo. The sun is in Aquarius and the moon is in Leo. And I'd like to begin our ceremony tonight with an old Apache prayer. See if you can be in a quiet place of receptivity to take in these words. Looking behind, I am filled with gratitude. Looking forward, I am filled with vision. Looking upward, I am filled with strength. And looking within, I discover peace. So even though most of you here tonight are old timers in that we've been together for a while, I never know how many new people are going to show up. So when I plan this, it may be at a different time than the actual night. But I do think that it helps every now and then to review why we actually get together at the time of the full moon, why it's important. So let's just take a minute to go over what we know about that. Let's remember that each month, our Earth moves into a different constellation. And as soon as that happens, we begin to be impacted by that constellation's energy. And as we move closer to the day of the full moon, these energies become more intense. So at the exact moment of the full moon, there's a powerful alignment that takes place between the Earth, the sun, the moon, and the constellation that we're in. And this alignment creates a portal through which the spiritual energies can flow. It's as if there is a ray of golden light that descends and creates a pathway through which the spiritual realms can reach us. So they're very close to us at this time. It's as if they are gazing downward toward us. And as we turn our gaze upward to them as we meditate, then connection becomes possible. We open ourselves to whatever wisdom is coming down from the higher realms. We have an opportunity to connect with our teachers, our guides, and angels, and to receive their blessings and guidance. This is why we prepare ahead of time so that our consciousness is raised to as high a level as we can attain, thus ensuring that the energies will be used for a higher good. And on the days after the full moon, we become conscious of ourselves as radiatory beings, radiating our light to everyone we meet. When we meet together as a group, we create a powerful group field that holds our intentions. And these intentions are then lifted up and become an invocative appeal to the higher realms to pour down their grace, their wisdom, and their love to us. These monthly gatherings can also become a positive impetus to our own evolutionary journey. The ancient wisdom teachings tell us that as we consciously invoke these energies each month, they literally take up residence in our aura. So each month, these energies pour into our auric field and become a part of who we are. So just imagine all those energies we've worked with over the years, filling our etheric body with those soul-centered qualities of the 12 signs. and our auras begin to impress those qualities onto our personality expression. So we are much more able to be of service to our world. Before we get into tonight's talk, I'd like to mention something about the activity of the sun these last few weeks. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with solar flares, those magnetic eruptions from the sun that affect the electromagnetic field of the earth and therefore our bodies. I'd like to read from the notes of Stephanie Austin, who follows these eruptions from the sun, taken from the website spaceweather.com. Spaceweather.com says, quote, "If solar activity continues apace for the rest of January, the monthly sunspot number will reach a 20-year high, and solar maximum is still 2 years away." I don't know what solar maximum is, but I assume that that's the peak. So then Stephanie goes on to give her interpretation of these events. Quote, "Solar flares, called CME, coronal mass ejections, I think that's for, and solar winds generate geomagnetic storms, which impact not only GPS, radio, and satellite communications, but also affect our nervous system, our pineal gland, and our perception of reality. These higher frequencies can catalyze the release of stored cellular memories. They can recalibrate our consciousness and reactivate our divine blueprint, helping us remember who we really are and why we incarnated at this critical time on planet Earth. Extra rest, lots of water, and spending time in nature, incorporating these cosmic upgrades. While each of us is on a unique spiritual journey, we are also all traveling together," end quote. So my point in bringing all this up is to say that if you have experienced any of these symptoms, to be gentle with yourselves and not assume you're going crazy or that there's something wrong with you. It's a good reminder, though, to pay attention and to be sure you're grounded and centered so these flares won't upset your equilibrium. Okay, let's talk now about Aquarius. In esoteric astrology, we're told that the ascendant or rising sign in our charts holds the key to our soul's purpose. So in your chart, if you look to your ascendant, it will give you a clue as to your soul's purpose in this incarnation. And that's one reason why esoteric astrology is different from traditional astrology. So just as you and I have the influence of our sun, moon, and rising sign affecting us, so it is with the Earth. She is a planetary being with a sun, moon, and rising sign. And at this current time in history, astrologers tell us that the rising sign of the Earth is Aquarius. That means that the spiritual destiny of this planet, the sole purpose of this planet, is deeply connected to the Aquarian energies. And at the same time, our entire solar system is moving into the constellation of Aquarius and will be there for approximately 2,000 years. So for the next 2,000 years, Aquarius will be the primary astrological influence for all of humanity. Remember the song, "This is the Dawning of the Age of Aquarius"? That was way back in the 60s. So no matter where your own sun, moon, and rising sign are in your chart, we can all be said to have Aquarius rising as an overshadowing, transcendent energy. So let's talk about what these energies are all about. The Aquarian energy has to do with equality, with a non-hierarchical view of the world. There's an awareness of the whole, not just the individual. Aquarians see the broader picture. They're humanitarians, concerned with what is good for all. The essential unity underlying all things is recognized. Diversity is seen, but the focus is on our oneness, how we are all connected. We are all souls, therefore divine. One humanity, one life, no us and them. This Aquarian age will bring in increased powers of intuition that's impulsed from the soul. Our higher minds will be more light-filled in order to illuminate the concrete mind. So there are two aspects to the mind. There is the concrete mind, which organizes, takes in information, helps us with our everyday life. The higher mind is the dwelling place of the soul. And when the higher mind illuminates the lower mind, we have access to that spiritual intuition that is sent from the soul. Another aspect of this new Aquarian age is the balancing of the male-female polarity and a blending of the mind and heart. The energies of inspiration will destroy our identification with matter. This will be true liberation, where nothing in the personality will hinder the impulses of the soul. Another feature of this new age will be a closer relationship to the angelic kingdom. We can see this happening already as more and more people become aware of angelic presences in their lives. As we draw closer together, there will be more conscious cooperation between angels and humans. You can begin fostering this closeness by calling on them, invoking their healing power into your life, and communicating your willingness to be in partnership with them. Of course, we have a ways to go, obviously, before all of this manifests, but this is the vision that we can hold for our world. And we can hold that vision in our awareness this month. We can visualize all those positive qualities of the new age that is approaching. We can radiate thoughts of joy, peace, optimism, and beauty into our environment, so people have an opportunity to be charged with greater hope, vision, and courage. You might consider radiating those thoughts to yourself as well, as that helps keep your vibration high, your consciousness raised. As we create these positive thought forms, the incoming energies will find open channels through which they can flow into human minds and regenerate those minds. We can create the world we want by the power of our visions and our thoughts. So you might look around and say, but look where we are, how can that be? Well, as I think I've mentioned before, we are ending an age, the Piscean age. In other words, we're moving out of the constellation of Pisces, which has been the predominant energy for the last 2,000 years. And at the end of every age, there is resistance and chaos as the new energies start to descend. Let me briefly describe the energies that are leaving. The Piscean energies can be described as the energy of the mystic, the savior, the idealist, the visionary. And there's a strong element of devotion. Used in their positive sense, they can have a transformative effect on humanity. But the negative polarity of Pisces, which we are seeing right now, is when these energies are distorted by the personality. Then we have the fanatical element that emerges, black and white thinking, rigidity, my way only, an idealized vision of the past. Remember the good old days. Oh, how wonderful those good old days were. This energy is dissipating as that age ends. And at the end of these eras, the energy tends to become polarized. One side is entrenched in the old ways, concretized. The new energy coming in is of a higher vibration, and therefore it meets resistance. The old digs in their heels and refuses to give up without a fight. And when a new energy meets resistance, then violence can accompany destruction. The result is chaos. Chaos always precedes expansion. So chaos has a purpose. The old must be overcome by the new if we are to evolve, and nothing will stop our eventual evolution. We are hardwired to evolve. We have no choice. Our only choice is how fast or slow our journey will be. And that depends on us and the choices that we make in our lives. When we're on a spiritual path and make our choices consciously, we speed up our evolutionary process. When we're not making conscious choices, we slow down the process. We keep repeating our old mistakes and wrong choices, and it takes us longer to move forward. Don't you find this true in your own life? That when you resist change, you refuse to let go of old, outdated mindsets, that some sort of violence occurs, whether it's to your own physical body or some other challenge comes up? If we are open and receptive to change, then transformation and expansion becomes possible. The soul-centered mantra for Aquarius is, "Water of life am I, poured forth for thirsty humanity." Last month, we climbed the mountain of Capricorn. We metaphorically let the energy of our spiritual aspiration carry us to the mountaintop, where we bathed in the light of transformation. Now, in Aquarius, we're asked to descend from the mountain and pour forth the waters of light and life into the world, to share our gifts, to distribute and radiate our light. Aquarius is a distributive sign. It rules the circulatory system. The opposite sign is Leo, who rules the heart. So symbolically, we connect to our hearts, to the heart of love, and we circulate that outward wherever we go. The spiritual teacher, David Spangler, says this, quote, "We are responsible for the quality of our subtle body. Whether consciously or not, this is what we radiate into our environment," end quote. What does this mean? I think it means that we have to control our thoughts by choosing where we want to focus our energy. We must detach from emotional reactiveness so that we can act from a place of love and understanding. We must watch our speech. Words have energy, have an impact, and the keynote in this new age is harmlessness. Aquarius has so much to do with sharing our resources with one another. It's a sign that wishes to uplift the group and not just the individual. The astrologer Philip Lindsay spells out for us the magnificent future that awaits us as these new Aquarian energies bring us into the new age. Quote, "The Aquarian cycle will see unification and synthesis in several areas. Number one, there will be a global currency and a global financial system, a universal management of Earth's resources. The Aquarian energy is all about sharing, community, and cooperation. 2, there will be one world religion that will recognize the diversity of religious thought and will acknowledge their common origins. The religion will embrace universal spiritual laws, not my God is the only God. 3, there will be one political system. As nations mature, cooperation will supersede competition. Altruism will trump selfishness, and cruelty will be relinquished for kindness. Number 4, there will be advances made in science, music, art, and technology." End quote. Until humanity reaches a higher state of evolution, many of these ideals will be misused and abused. But if we keep in mind what is emerging, what is being born, there is no reason for despair. Listen to this prayer by Rabindranath Tagore. I can't say his name, or her name, I'm not even sure. Quote, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms toward perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action. Into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake, end quote. Before we go into meditation, I'd like to quote Jason Estes, who says this about this coming year. It isn't really specifically about Aquarius, but it does give us some insight into what to expect this year. And I love the title, Have Faith in the Ride You've Chosen. There's nothing wrong with planning, but you plan for the things you do, and then you let go. Because if you plan and then you try to hold on to that plan, the stress levels are too high these days. At this point, the amount of information, the speed in which you're traveling through time and space is so epically intense that if you try to make your plan reality by holding on to it when it changes, you're going to end up completely somewhere else, or somewhere else completely. Have faith in the ride that you've chosen. Experience it minute to minute, day by day. Don't go past that. Don't go week by week, just minute by minute. If you get good enough, go day by day. This year is about you learning to not overcommit and overwhelm yourself. This year is about minute by minute, day by day. If you do that, you will make it to 2024, and your life will be course corrected in the way that you've always dreamed of. So let's hold that thought as we go about our days this month, minute by minute. All right, let us prepare now for meditation. Closing our eyes, let us begin by focusing on our breathing. Breathing evenly to quiet the system. Now begin to establish a sense of readiness within. Imagine in your mind's eye a ball of radiant light right above your head. This is the light of your soul, your higher self. It contains all that is of the highest in you, all of your wisdom, all of your love. Now imagine that this ball of light is positioned right in front of your abdomen. See it there as clearly as you can. And now imagine as you inhale that the ball of light, the light of your soul, is traveling up your body to the top of your head. And as you exhale, the ball of light travels down your spinal column into the earth. So inhale up to the head. Exhale down the spinal column. And do this for a few breaths. And begin to feel the alignment that takes place as the energy of your soul travels around your body. Now imagine the color lavender. This is the color of Aquarius. It brings our hearts and minds into cooperative relationship. It blends our heart and mind. Rest for a moment in this energy of peaceful connection. Now see this soft lavender color healing and relaxing your entire nature. Allow it to create a tenderness, an openness, and receptivity within you. Now I'd like to read you another poem that I've read many times before. But in this place of higher consciousness, see if this poem can touch you in a new way. It's called Cargo by Greg Kimura. You enter life a ship laden with meaning, purpose, and gifts, sent to be delivered to this hungry world. And as much as the world needs your cargo, you need to give it away. Everything depends on this. But the world forgets its needs, and you forget your mission, and the ancestral maps used to guide you have become faded scrawls on the parchment of dead pharaohs. The cargo weighs you heavy the longer it's held. Spoilage becomes a risk. The ship sputters from port to port, and at each you ask, is this the way? But the way cannot be found without knowing your cargo. And the cargo cannot be known without recognizing there is a way. And it is simply this: you have gifts. The world needs your gifts. You must deliver them. The world may not know it is starving, but the hungry know, and they will find you when you discover your cargo and start to give it away. End quote. This is the journey of Aquarius. What is your cargo? What gifts do you have that you can share with your world? Even if your world is only your family, your friends, your coworkers. See if you can acknowledge and accept that you do have gifts to offer. Contemplate for a few minutes. What are those gifts that you have that you can give to the world? And remember, it doesn't have to be some big, magnificent, tremendously powerful gift. It can be as simple as a smile, or a warm greeting, or a hug. What is it that you can give? And then imagine yourself going about your day. See if you can imagine yourself giving this gift away in some small or large way, whatever feels comfortable and right for you. Now, I'd like you to imagine that you're holding hands with other spiritual seekers from all over the world, and you are encircling the planet with your hands holding on to each other. Imagine now that every person gently brings their hands up so they are facing the earth, palms outward. See if you can imagine the energy from those hands pouring into the earth, bathing the earth with everyone's gifts, sharing them with the whole planet. Imagine your own gifts going out into the world to bless and heal. Now picture in your mind a magnificent glowing ball of light above the earth. This is the water of life of Aquarius being poured forth to humanity. See that healing light enter the earth and bless all the gifts that you have shared, lighting up the earth, stimulating and increasing the potency of everyone's gifts until the entire earth is one magnificent glowing ball of light, lighting up the cosmos. Sit for a few moments and rest in this beautiful vision of the earth shining like a beacon of light in the cosmos. Give thanks now for the gifts you have and your willingness to share them with the world. And I'd like to close this meditation with this prayer. May the sun bring you energy by day. May the moon softly restore you by night. May the rain wash away your worries. May the breeze blow new strength into your being. May you walk gently through the world and know its beauty all the days of your life. Please bring yourself back now. And gently feel your feet on the ground, on the earth, on the floor, wherever you are. Take a few minutes to just feel yourself grounded. A few deep breaths. Thank you, dear friends.